But this Upanishad in the second verse itself will talk about karma and karma yoga, which we'll talk next week or maybe the week after, depending on how long it takes us to do the first mantra. And karmas can be of two kinds. One is worldly karmas that I carry out to acquire things, money, position, power, all those, get married, children, those are all worldly karmas. And then there are rituals which are performed to attain heaven, swargadi, etc., to attain higher worlds after this death. So all of them come in karmas, all of them come in ignorance, not in knowledge. So this is briefly summarizing. This Purnamada is a beautiful mantra, is actually a Mahavakya, that Brahman and this, what I am perceiving, actually is one. I and that are one. Tattvamasi, Aham Brahmasmi. That is the essence of the Shanti mantra. So today we will chant the first mantra. The first mantra of the Ishavasya Upanishad. Om Ishavasyamidagam sarvam.
Om Ishavasyamidagam sarvam.
Yatkincha jagatyan jagata.
Yatkincha jagatyam jagata.
Tena tyaktena bhunjithaha.
Tena tyaktena bhunjithaha.
Magridakasya swidhanam.
Magridakasya swidhanam.
All together. Om Ishavasyamidagam sarvam. Yatkincha jagatyan jagata. Tena tyaktena bhunjithaha. Magridakasya swidhanam. So we'll do the word by word translation. First, Om, we had talked in quite a lot of detail 2 weeks ago when we did the Shanti mantra. So I won't go into detail, but Om is one of God's names. But it has many other meanings, which we covered last time. So Om is God. We are recognizing God's presence. And then we say Isha. Isha means again God, Ishvara. But here Isha is not only the Ishvara, that is the creator, sustainer, destroyer, but the Brahman, the total consciousness, which is the internal ruler and external, everything. So Isha Vasyam. The word Vasyam is a beautiful word. Vasya means to clothe, to put on clothes. So what it says is this whole idagam sarvam, idagam, this everything that you see is covered by God, clothed by God, pervaded by God. That means everything is pervaded, everything is nothing but God, appearing as what? Yat kincha, yat whatever, kincha means whatever, jagatyam jagata, in this moving world, which itself is moving. So that which is moving in this moving world. So whatever you see that is moving and non-moving in this world, that itself is moving. We know all the planets are moving, galaxies are moving. So the rishis knew all that at that time. So they said whatever the world is moving and appears to be moving, everything is that one Isha alone, one consciousness alone. So what should I do with this world and what should I do with Bhagwan? So he says, Tena. Tena means by that, instrumental case. Tena also means therefore. Therefore, Tena, Tyaktena Bhunjitaha. Renounce that. Renounce this name and form. And then Bhunjitaha. Bhunjitaha means enjoy. Bhunjitaha also means protect. Protect yourself from all these attachments. And then the fourth quarter is Ma. Ma means no. Gridaha means covet. Greed. You know, Grida, the word greed probably came from Grida. So do not be greedy. Do not covet. Kasya swit. Anybody's dhanam, wealth. We are not saying don't possess wealth, but don't covet wealth. Don't desire more wealth, more than what you deserve. So this we'll talk in quite little bit of detail. So just to introduce this mantra, actually Mahatma Gandhi ji, this was his favorite Upanishad. Besides the Bhagavad Gita, he always read Ishavasya Upanishad. And he says of this mantra of Ishavasya Midagam Sarvam, what he said is very interesting. He said that supposing all the Vedic knowledge was lost, somehow all the Vedas were burnt and they disappeared and there was not a single Veda left. And Vedas are hundreds and thousands of verses. You know, the Rig Ved, Sam Ved, Yajur, Atharva Ved, all the Brahmanas and the mantras and Upanishads. Suppose everything disappeared, all the hundreds of Upanishads disappeared, but this one mantra remained, Ishavasya Midagam Sarvam. That mantra alone is enough to recreate all the Vedas. So all the Vedas can be created just by this one mantra, which means this mantra is the essence of all spiritual knowledge of all Vedas. Everything that is covered in the Vedas is included in this mantra, or whatever is in this mantra, there is nothing more to be known. Of course, there are karmas and brahmanas and mantras and all, but the idea is the importance that this shloka carries in our literature, in our spiritual literature. So this whole world is pervaded, covered, clothed by God. So what is this world? So the Rishi says everything that is seen and unseen, everything that is moving, not moving. And that includes me also. So when I say this whole world does not only mean humans, but all animals, birds, plants, fish, even rocks, stones, mountains, rivers, char and achara, moving and unmoving, everything is covered, pervaded by God alone. But what happens is that even though God is everywhere, God is everything, we don't see him. We don't see this. We say, where is he? Even my grandson was asking, Dadaji, if you say God is everywhere, why can't we see him? You know, that's a very basic question, very difficult to answer. So why can't we see God? So Gurudev in his commentary says it very beautifully. It is covered. Matter covers spirit. Even though spirit is infinite, matter is limited. It as though covers, just as the cloud covers the sun, even though cloud is very small, maybe only 10 miles or 20 miles long, but the sun is millions of miles away and it's millions of miles in size. How does it cover? It covers my vision. I don't see the sun because of the cloud. The sun, of course, is illumining the entire solar system. So similarly, Brahman is covering my vision. So I don't need to create Brahman or find Brahman or see Brahman. I just have to correct my vision because Brahman is always there. Everything that I'm doing, talking, walking, is because of Brahman's presence. In fact, if you look around the room for a moment, you can cover everything with God. Just maybe take a moment and look around and everything is God. My walls, the books, the bed, the chair, the table, the computer, everything is pervaded by God. When you go for a walk outside, you know, look at the trees and just cover them with God. Everything is pervaded by God. You see cars driving on the road. Even you see some dirt on the side of the road. That is also Brahman. You see mountains, you see everything one has to cover with God. So get in the habit that whatever I see around me is God. There is nothing else. Even all the humans, the family members, even whoever I see, everything is covered by God. And how do we know God's presence? Because everything is enlivened by his presence. If there was no consciousness, you and I would be just, you know, some dust or some sitting on the side of the road. The fact that we are able to walk and talk, it is enlivening. That's why Bhagwan Shri Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita, he says, Ishvara Sarva Bhutanam Hriddeshirjuna tishtati Brahmyan sarva bhutani yantra rudani mayaya. He says, Ishvara is in the heart of all beings. Heart means where the mind and intellect function. And what does it do? Brahmyan sarva bhutani yantra rudani mayaya. Just as there is a motor which revolves, for example, a car has what? A motor. And it's the motor that moves the car. And so similarly, it is the motor, it is the gasoline which moves us. That's what it is said. But how do I notice the presence of God? So it is said very beautifully in the commentary also that look at the changeless factor in all the changes. As long as I am involved in the changes, I will never see the changeless factor. That's what happens to us. We are so busy seeing all the changes of this world, and we get so fascinated by it, and then we are spending so much time in worldly things that we don't see that there is a changeless presence which was there in me from the beginning, when I was an infant, and then a child, and then a young man, and then a middle age, and then old. In all, there is this constant changeless factor. That's what they say. To see the change, you have to identify with the changeless factor. So the example they give is, if there are two trains going, one on this way and one the other way, and they are both, one is going slow, one is going fast, you really won't know the speed of the other train, because your train is also moving and the other train is also moving. So I don't know. But if I'm standing on the platform of the train, and then I can see, okay, one train is going slow, one train is express train, one is a local train. So when I am on a changeless platform, then I can notice all the changes that are going on. But if I am also involved, then I get lost. Then there are two ways of looking at Bhagwan as everything. One is the path of bhakti, and one is the path of jnanam. So in the path of bhakti, it is said everything is my God. I have my Ishta Devta, whether it's Sri Rama or Krishna or Ganeshji or whoever, Lord Shiva, Mother Saraswati. But my dear beloved God is everything. So that's why Tulsidas ji starts right in the beginning of Ramayana, in the first few verses. He says, Siya Ram mein sab jag jani, karahu pranam jori jugapani. He says, everything I see is Sita and Ram. All women are Sita, all men are Ram. Everything is Sita Ram. So that whoever I meet, I bow down to them because God is in front of me. Or Bhagwan Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita, he says, Vasudeva Sarvamiti Samahatma Sudurlabha. It is very difficult to find a Mahatma who sees this everything as Vasudeva, everything as Sri Krishna. It is very rare. So that is the path of bhakti, that my God is everything, and it is good, to have path of bhakti and knowledge. We'll be talking later on in this Upanishad about how bhakti and knowledge both are required. It is in the later verses of this Upanishad. So in the path of bhakti, everything is my God, my Lord. And in the path of jnana, in the path of bhakti, God is the nimitta karana. He is the creator of this universe. Who created the universe? Bhagwan did. So then we give reality to the universe and then say, me and God are separate, but I love God. And God alone is everything in my life. So there is this distinction, but it is a separation of love. It is not that he is somebody punishing me or, all that. So that is a part of bhakti. In the path of jnana, he is not only the nimitta karana, but he is the upadan karana. Nimitta means the creator, upadan means the substance. Whatever I see, the substance is God. The essence is God. So God is not only the creator of the universe, but himself became the universe. So then I and God are not separate, and I alone am everywhere. So that I is of course not the BMI, I, not the one that is with the name and form, but I, the consciousness, I am all, and they are all me. I heard a very, very beautiful story, very touching. So there was this Mahatma who was sleeping he had a small hut. He was sleeping on the floor with a blanket on. It was very cold outside and it was dark at night, and he had not yet fallen asleep. He was lying down trying to sleep, and suddenly he heard the door open and a thief entered, I guess to steal something. And the Mahatma had a light near him. He turned it on, and the thief was stunned. And Mahatma says, you are here to steal something. He said, yeah. He was scared. He got very scared. Mahatma said, you can look around. Anything you find, you can take. And there was nothing, there was nothing in that hut that the thief could take. Mahatma said, I only have this one blanket. It's cold outside. I'm wearing the blanket. He was sleeping on the floor. He said, you can take the blanket. So thief said, take the blanket? He said, yeah, take it. Take it. You have come all the way from far away and you have come expecting something. So I give you this blanket. So as the thief was leaving with the blanket, Mahatma says, stop, stop. So thief thought maybe he wants the blanket back. Mahatma says, won't you say thank you? I gave you this blanket. The thief was shocked. He said, yeah, thank you, thank you. Again, he's walking out the door. Mahatma says, stop. The thief said, oh, what? He says, please close the door when you leave. Don't leave the door open because it's cold outside. So thief was shocked, but he took the blanket and left. Being a thief, he closed the door and went. After a few days, thief was caught by the police. He was robbing some other house and the police caught him, took him before the judge. And the judge says, you know what, I'm in a good mood today. If you can find somebody who knows you and who can vouch for you, I will release you. So thief thought, he said, only one I can think of is that Mahatma. So he calls him. He says, yeah, that Mahatma knows me. So they call the Mahatma to the court, and the judge asked the Mahatma, do you know this thief? Not this person. He didn't say this thief. He said, yeah, I know him very well. He's a thorough gentleman. He said, he's a gentleman? Why do you say that? He says, because when he came to my house, I myself gave him a blanket. He said, thank you. And while leaving, he even shut the door so I shouldn't feel cold. So such a kind person he is. And the judge said, yeah, if the Mahatma, I respect you so much. If you vouch for him, I release him. So Mahatma walks out and the thief comes out crying and he falls at the Mahatma's feet and he says, please keep me at your feet. I want to be your disciple. I want to serve you. I don't want to do any more robbing. So how could the Mahatma do that? Because he saw me as that. He saw no difference between himself and the thief. It's my blanket. If I give it to the thief, how does it matter? Because it's me alone, whether I'm enjoying it here or I'm enjoying it outside. So that is the vision of these great Mahatmas. You and I can only just talk about it. For us, it is some kind of wonder, but that's how these people function in this world. So once you see oneness in everybody, that alone is me, then how can I have raga dvesha? How can I have likes and dislikes? I like this person, I dislike this person. If I dislike somebody, I'm disliking myself. If I have hatred to somebody, I have hatred to myself. If I get angry at somebody, I'm angry at myself. So I cannot have likes, dislikes, hatred, anger, desire, kama, krodha, I must possess, I must get, because everything is one. So that understanding, and even when I see imperfections, the world is not perfect. I am not perfect. The world is not perfect. But through and in and through the imperfections, I see the perfect Lord. that even though this person has imperfections, this person is a thief, this person is dishonest, but it is actually Bhagwan alone who has come into my house. That's what the Mahatma's vision is. So once I don't have any raga, dvesha, any anger, greed, jealousy, then I cannot have any agitation. Then who is going to bother me? Nobody can bother me because everything is me, I alone. So just as when there is a wound on the hand, and we have heard that example many times, I gently, take care of it, even though it's giving me pain, it is me. So similarly, another person, even though giving me pain, it is me and me alone. And so what happens is then I have compassion for all. Then I have spontaneous love for all, spontaneous compassion for all. And then I don't try to change others because everybody is perfect. Only person I need to change is myself. I have to change myself, then the world will become perfect. The world is already perfect. That's why they say Purna Mada Purna Midam. That consciousness is perfect. This world is perfect. Don't try to change it because that's Bhagwan's job. That's why he says in the Bhagavad Gita, Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya chadushkritam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. So I come to correct the world, to remove the evil and to establish dharma. You and I don't need to do that. We just change ourselves, change our vision, how we look at the world. That's why for the Jnani, the world does not have any fascination because he does not give reality to it. He says it is just nama rupa. It is just name and form upon that consciousness. So that consciousness alone is real. This name and form is unreal. It is temporary. Name and form will disappear, but the consciousness will remain. This name and form will disappear, but I as the consciousness will remain. That's what Bhagavan tells in the second chapter of the Bhagavad Gita also. So one Chaitanya, one consciousness, one Brahman is everywhere. Everything is that. You say, well then what is all this I see? Idagam sarvam, all this world you are saying, what is it I see? What is my relationship to the world and to God? Say, I am a tenant. I am a renter. Nothing belongs to me. The house doesn't belong to me. The money doesn't belong to me. The body doesn't belong to me. Mind, intellect. I am just a tenant. I am occupying this house called this earth for however number of years, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, however many years, and nothing is mine. The house is not mine. The world is not mine. The money, everything belongs to God. I am using it. And when it is time to leave, I give it up. Like you have a 3-year lease or a 5-year lease. After the lease is expired, you don't say this house is mine. I lived in it for 3 years or 5 years. It belongs to the landlord. You leave it and go find another house. So similarly, he is the landlord. I am the renter. Never this world was mine. Nothing is mine. Tena tyaktena, give up attachment to everything. Only then you can enjoy it. Only then you can protect yourself. Another beautiful example I heard is like you are traveling on an airline, right? So you're going from LA to New York. It's a 5-6 hour flight and you have seat 17C. So the air hostess says, okay, that's your seat. Go and sit. Now you sit for 5 or 6 hours. At the end of 6 hours, do you say, I paid for this seat, it is my seat? No, you get up and leave. You can't say, I'm going to take the seat with me. Or no, the seat belongs to the airline. You have paid for it. And how do we pay for Bhagwan for giving us this world? With punya karmas. Do good karmas, that is the payment to God. If you want to pay him, do good karmas and avoid papas. That is the only payment he is asking. In return, he gives us everything. Also, when I'm in that airline seat, can I dirty it? Can I start writing with a pen, or can I cut up the cloth in the seat with a knife? No. If I do that, I will be kicked out of the airline. If I start destroying the seat, they will kick me out at the next airport and put me in jail. So similarly, this world, I am not supposed to destroy it. Take good care of it. As long as I am in this world, take care of this world, do the best you can, and make this world a better place. And same way, this body also does not belong to me. It is given to me by Bhagavan. I am just a tenant in this body. And when it is time to leave, I say, okay, Bhagavan, tera tujhko arpan, kya lage mera. You know, we always say that, Om Jai Jagdish Hare, tan man dhana sab tera. But when it comes to giving, we neither give tan nor man, and definitely we don't give dhan. So that's what, everything belongs to you. And that I have to tyaktena, give it up. So give up importance, not that you give up the world, put on orange clothes and go to the forest, but give up the importance that this world has, the fascination it has, the reality it has. The world is an appearance, just as the snake is an appearance on the rope. And what should I do? Do your duty. That's what Bhagavan Shri Krishna even told Arjuna. Arjuna said, I don't want to fight. I want to take sannyas, tena tyaktena. I want to give up everything. The Upanishad says, mag bhunjitaha, I will enjoy sannyas. But Bhagavan tells him, you are a warrior and you are fighting a dharma yuddha. But if you leave, you still have anger against Duryodhana and Karna and all these Shakuni and all. So what, you will be sitting in the forest, you will be angry, and you will be shooting arrows at the trees. Because why? Because you have not exhausted your vasanas, your karma. So he Arjuna says, I want to take the path of sannyas. You said sannyas is better than karma. Yes, it is better, but not for you. For you is karma yoga. And same thing Bhagavan says in the 12th chapter, Yo mad bhakta same priyaha, who is my dear devotee, who adveshta sarva bhutanam maitra karuna evacha, who is compassionate to all, has no hatred, loves all. And only by renunciation you can protect yourself. Otherwise, tena tyaktena bhunjitaha. Bhunjitaha means enjoy your life and protect yourself. Otherwise, we are all the time trying to hold on to things. And with attachments comes sorrow, because whatever I have, sooner or later will go away and it will give me sorrow. That's what they say. Some people give happiness wherever they go. Some people give happiness whenever they go. So what I don't like will come and give me sorrow. What I like will go away and give me sorrow. So that's what they say, that protect yourself without attachments, because it's the attachments, all these upadhis, actually each one of us is that supreme consciousness, but this upadhi is this body, mind and intellect, which is covering my wisdom. We are doing Vivek Chudamani in Wednesday evening, and those who attend will recognize this shloka. Shankaracharya ji says very beautifully that if sandalwood is dipped in water and left for several days, maybe few weeks, you leave sandalwood and you take it out, it is covered by this green dirt, and smells horrible. And it's all this fungus is there on it. And so what do? You scrub it. You take a brush or you take something hard and scrub, remove all the green, and the fragrance of sandalwood comes out. You didn't create the fragrance. The fragrance was already there. It was covered by this impurity. So similarly, this Atman consciousness is Satchidananda. That is my true nature. I did not create it, but I have just covered it with this dirt of this body, mind, and intellect, to whom I am giving reality. So what is the scrubbing? 5-point program. Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana. So do Karma Yoga, do Bhakti, and then do path of knowledge, Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana. And with this 5-point program, you will be able to remove this dirt and recognize the presence of God, which is always with us. And then in the shloka, they say, Ma gridaha kasya svidhanam. So give up this world, give up importance. At the same time, do not covet others' wealth. Because whatever I have is, take it as a prasad buddhi. Bhagwan, thank you. Just as when I go to temple and I get prasad, I don't argue. I don't say, give me more prasad than the neighbor guy. No, whatever I get, I take it as prasad. So whatever God has given me, it is his grace, his prasad. And what is Gurudev says in his commentary, whatever I have is for the community. So share it with others, willingly help others, because whatever you give comes back more and more. Not only you get the karma, but it comes back to you. So that's what they say, do not covet anybody else's wealth, because when you covet, then you are increasing desires. You are increasing the power of samsara. This world is giving me problems because I have desires and my desires are not fulfilled. So reduce your desires, reduce your attachments, reduce excessive activity, practice nivritti. So see the essence. So I heard another very beautiful example. Say if you have somebody says there is a wooden idol of Rama and a golden, solid gold idol of Ravana. So wooden idol of Rama and solid gold idol of Ravana. And he says, take one. Which one will you take? You have a choice. So, you know, why will you pick Ravana? Because you're looking at the essence, that this is gold and that is wood. You are not looking at the name and form. This is Rama and this is Ravana. No, you are going beyond name and form, going to the essence, that this is gold and this is wood. So gold is more precious. So similarly, look at the essence within us. And then what will happen is this karta bhokta bhav will go away, that I am the doer and I am the enjoyer. No, my beloved God is doing everything. That is the path of bhakti. The path of jnana is I am the consciousness. And in my presence, this body, mind, and intellect are functioning. So I am neither the doer nor the enjoyer. Because if I am the doer, then I have to suffer the consequences of that. So last, today I will talk is the practical aspect of this beautiful, most beautiful mantra. I actually covered it fairly quickly. Most of the commentaries I read, the acharyas take minimum 2 hours to do this mantra, but I thought myself I won't be able to, but I think there is a lot of repetition. So pretty much we have covered that. See this whole world as God, renounce the name and form, and enjoy your true nature. And then do not covet anybody else. Do not have desires and greed. So now very briefly, what is the practical aspect of this? So what is Brahman? It is Sat, Chit, Anand, and Advaitam, non-dual. So Brahman is Sat, Brahman is Chit, Brahman is Ananda, and Brahman is Advaitam, non-dual. So when I say I am Chit, that means I have to help preserve Sat. First is Sat. Preserve Sat means existence. So I should not harm anybody's existence, but try to help, like somebody is sick, if I can help financially or maybe help them medically. So promote existence, vegetarianism, not destroying animals, environment, preserving, doing things for the environment. That is preserving Sat. What is preserving Chit? That I should have the right knowledge and I should spread this knowledge to others, and do not take advantage of somebody's ignorance. So somebody by mistake does not know something, or maybe gives me extra money or anything like that. Do not take advantage of others' ignorance, and yourself have the right knowledge. So that is chit. Ananda is that I should be always joyful, be happy. There's no need to be miserable, because I am Ananda. I am Sat Chit Ananda. So no need to be miserable. Be happy. Whatever is there is okay. It is fine. There is nothing wrong. And spread Anand everywhere. So spread joy. Do not give sorrow to others. Do not give discomfort to others. So Sat, Chit, and Ananda. And the fourth is Advaitam, non-dual. Non-dual means do not see differences. Do not create differences. See oneness. That one Vasudeva Sarvamiti, one people, one world. That is one of the mottos of Chinmaya Mission, that there is only one world and everything is that. Siya Ram Mein Sab Jagajani ya Vasudeva Sarvamiti. So do not create differences. Do not say this is mine and this is not mine. I like this person. I don't like this person. And reduce this I and my. Everything is belonging. And create harmony. So do whatever you can to create harmony in the world. Do not create sorrow. Do not create differences. Do not create division. And do not support, people that create differences, the people that create disharmony. That's what Mahatmas do. If there is somebody needs help, they will help. If somebody needs knowledge, they will give knowledge. If somebody needs joy, they will give joy. Why? Because they see themselves in all, like that thief story where he had only one blanket, nothing else, but because the thief needed it more, he just gave it. So that is the essence. That is how this shloka we can apply in our life, that everything is Bhagwan Isha Vasyam Idagam Sarvam Yat Kinchit Jagatyan Jagat. Whatever I see in this world is nothing but Bhagwan, my Lord, and that alone is real. Tena tyaktena bhunjitaha, and renounce everything else, because nothing else is real. Everything is an appearance. Only then you can enjoy life. Only then you can protect yourself from sorrow. And then the last line of the last quarter of the shloka, Rishi says, do not covet anybody's wealth. Whatever I have, be thankful and be grateful, and then use whatever I have for the benefit of all. Gurudev in his commentary talks about Naradji, and he says that anything, if a person has anything more than what he needs to eat and clothe himself, if he keeps more than that, he is a thief. So this is Gurudev's commentary, Naradji's. So that is how one should live. So it's a beautiful, beautiful mantra.
Mahatma Gandhi used to tell there is enough for everybody's need than for everybody's.
Right. Yeah. You said Mahatma Gandhi ji used to say the same thing. There is enough in this world for everybody's need, but not enough for even one person's greed. So that's what Magrida. So do not have greed, but be grateful, gratitude. So every morning get up with gratitude. Thank you, Bhagwan, for giving me another day. At the end of the day, before going to bed, thank you, Bhagwan. And so gratitude is very important. So thank you very much. It's a most beautiful mantra. I'm so grateful that I have an opportunity to study it and share it. We have time if anybody has any questions, comments, anything to add.
Another example that Gurudev gives in his commentary is about the waves and the ocean. That all the waves are nothing but the ocean. So same way, this whole world is nothing but the Brahman. It's just like that.
Right.
All these appearances are like waves. In a sense, they are ocean, or the water rather. So
Yeah, they are just name and form.
They are just name and form.
Waves, currents, everything. Yes.
Mhm.
But the reality is water. So pay attention to the water.
What is another?
Yeah, Gurudev mentions that in his comment.
Go with another one Swamiji told you. That how do you come? You said it, everything is Brahman. How do you come? Like this world is Brahman, but it is a superimposition.
Right.
Well,
Yeah, world is a superimposition upon that. We had done that 2 weeks ago also. Name and form is superimposition upon that
on that
consciousness. Like snake is superimposed upon the rope or ghost upon the
and-
ghost. Yeah.
So as long as your attention is on the ghost, it will keep bothering you. But the moment, the only way to end is to know the post.
Right.
That it is not the ghost, it is the post. So
Right.
same way you have to know the truth. Otherwise, this world will keep giving you botheration.
Right. Right. Now the snake and the rope, same thing. You will fear the snake until you see the rope. So the world you will fear because you are seeing me and somebody else.
Fear is always of
Fear
someone.
is of somebody else.
That's why Advaitam is important.
Advaitam is the only way to get out of fear, anger, hatred, jealousy, likes, dislikes, everything can only be cured by Advaitam. That there is nobody else except me.
Question.
I alone am everywhere. Carrie, you had a question, a comment? You can unmute, please. Yeah.
I was just thinking about ignorance. If there's always been ignorance, covering of the truth and of knowledge.
Yes.
And maybe I was just thinking, maybe it's like addition and subtraction are the same thing.
Right.
It's kind of like that, maybe.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. You subtract.
Paying attention, more
You
attention.
subtract the world and then you will see God. So then you can add God or see God, or God alone is. So you have to, that tena tyaktena bhunjita, negate everything else. Everything else you subtract. And what is left? That one alone. I alone.
Just know that everything is an appearance. If you know the sunset and all that, we know it is just appearing. It's not actually setting or coming up or anything. It's just appeared that it is. So with that knowledge, when you look at things, then you are not bothered by it.
Yes. Right.
So
So
that's how you live
Yeah.
in the world,
Right.
with that knowledge.
So your point is correct. You subtract everything else, and whatever you see, hear, smell, taste, touch, feel, experience, think, all emotions, all ideas, all thoughts, all perceptions, everything you reject. Tena tyaktena, and only then you can enjoy the self. Reject does not mean that it does not exist, but do not give too much importance to it.
No, it's they are not permanent.
Right. They are not permanent and they are there for this temporary time, because I am a tenant and this world is a rented place. So then I don't hold on to anything.
I was also thinking of the example of a movie theater. You know, you go to the movie theater, as long as you know this is a movie, you are not bothered by whatever is going on. But the moment you forget that,
Right.
and you start identifying, or you forget about that it is a movie, and you give reality to it, then you start getting involved with the characters, or you start saying, run away, she's coming. We all go through that. Or you start crying, or you start identifying with them.
Right.
So that's exactly what we do. This world is like a movie. It's of name and form.
Right.
It's that reality, which is.
Any other questions, comments? Sharad, anything you would like to add? Any questions? Anything else? It's all clear?
I have a question. In the first line, the second half, it said Yat Kincham Jagatyam Jagat. So Jagatyam, it says in the universe, and Jagat, it says moving
Moving.
world.
Yeah. Jagati means
what-
moving. Jagati means moving. So Jug Jugu Gurudev says. So Jagati means that in this world, which itself is moving, everything else is moving also. So
Okay,
everything is moving in this world, which itself is moving. That is how.
okay.
In this world, Jagatyam, Jagat. In this world
Oh,
that
okay.
is moving, everything is moving. Even what we look at a stationary, actually it is moving. The earth is moving, you know, everything. And even the in the rocks, the electrons are moving, you know, everything is, there is constant movement. So
Right.
nothing is stationary. Also, it means everything is changing. Everything, there's nothing. That's why last night also we said, na, Ashwatha, that which will not be the same tomorrow. So that's why this world is constant.
Samsara is like a
Samsara is
Right.
like a Ashwatha tree that will not be the same tomorrow. That is moving, that
Yeah.
is changing.
Right.
So pay
I-
attention.
Changes also happen on a changeless. You need a changeless substratum for changes to happen. So that changeless substratum is what this
Right.
this is. Like for things to happen, you need a space, right? For things to be in the space.
Right.
So like that, you need, this is subtler than space also is in it. So actually nothing can exist. It itself is existence. When you think in detail, go to the depth, it is existence itself. It is existence. That is Sat.
Right.
And I
Right.
know it is existent, that's Chit. And then
Like
Oh.
the river, you know, you need a river
Bed.
bank for the water to flow. So the
Bed.
bank, the river bed is the changeless on which the water is flowing. So the changing is happening on the changeless.
Mm.
And
That's
Saben,
it.
you had a
The
question?
word, yeah, the word you many times we use is when you subtract this universe or this jagat, that you will see that unmoving. But really, you are not going to see with your eyes, right? It's that you will be
Right.
that Brahman. Is that
Yes,
what
You will-
we
yes,
are?
you are, I am.
I am that. That you
That-
will experience that. You
that
will come to
knowledge
know
will
that.
come.
You won't see it as an object, but you
Right.
know it. That's the knowledge.
Right.
That is
And-
what
and
they call,
so-
that's the highest knowledge.
Okay.
You won't
And then
see it as
second
an
point.
object.
Mhm.
You will
Second point
know
I
it.
wanted to make was that it is so unique in this particular shloka. They have put that don't covet anybody's wealth. I mean, what is the, I mean, I know the significance of that particular emotion or a particular message, that everything else is by him, created by him.
Yes.
So really, do not, do not do this. Is that
Right. Because whose wealth is it? That's what Gurudev asked. Whose wealth is it? Everything is his. So
We came empty-handed.
yeah,
This
you
one.
came without any clothes, empty-handed, and you will go empty-handed. So while you are here, share with everything and have love, compassion, and gratitude.
Yeah. Thank you.
So
That's
Rishi
what
wants us to.
Gurudev, one of his saying is that, you earn with the right means as much as you can, and then just give it to the institutions or where it is needed for them.
Right.
Yeah, that's what.
Yeah.
Find a right institute and give it to their
Yeah, right cause. Yes.
right cause.
Hansaben, you have question?
Share.
No, I just have a statement, that's all. That those waves in ocean made so much sense to me. Is that we are all just like ocean has big waves, small waves, strong waves. Same way we are all in that. We are the waves and big waves, strong waves, and all that. And after all, it all merges into the ocean. That ocean is this whole Brahman. That's how I looked at it.
Right. Thank you. Yeah, that's true. So we came from the ocean and we merged back into the
We are
ocean.
staying in the ocean.
And we are is maintained in the ocean. That's why Brahma, Vishnu, and Mahesh, all three. Brahmaji,
Creator.
Bhagwan Vishnu, and then Lord Shiva. So all three are that. Creating, sustaining, and then
Three powers.
three powers, the
Of the
whole
Lord.
universe is.
It's the same.
Saroj Ben, you have a comment or question?
I was thinking there is like to sacrifice. You have to sacrifice. There is a nice example about mother and a child.
Yes.
And the child is physically child is different from a mother, but she has feelings for her child, and the child is my child. So she sacrificed that, and she's ready to do anything for that child. And so that I
Right.
think sacrifice is an important thing to do. Too.
Yeah.
Why? Because she sees herself in the child.
Right.
Yeah,
And,
it's her-
and then she doesn't say, oh, I was up all night and the child was sick. She has joy in the serving, not any.
Yeah, it's her child, so she, so we should have that kind of sacrifice.
Right.
Very good. Thank you. Yeah, very good point. She doesn't even think that I'm doing a favor to the child. No, because that is me. So,
So
even
that's
the,
why they say, just make your circle more, because right now our circle is our family. You make it to the community, to the nation, to
Right.
make it bigger and bigger. This circle of myself.
Yeah, so we even like a child, and mother considers child part of her child, so we should be able to do that.
right.
We do
Very
it,
true.
but
Very, very good point. Even if the child is dirty, she will
Oh, yeah.
clean the child, not thinking that I'm doing a favor.
that's the example you gave for that wound care.
Right.
Same if a child had that wound care to take care of wound or something, she will just do without knowing about. Other people might screw up their nose or
Right. Right.
move
Good
because
point.
it's not part of them. I think that
Right. No, good. Thank you. Good point. Yeah, because even somebody else may find it dirty, but I have love for it because it is me. I don't see the separateness. Thank you. Anything else, Sarojman? There was a question. Vivek Chudamani is on Wednesday at 8 p.m. It is a study group, everybody reads and comes and everybody talks.
It's from 8 to 9.
It is from 8 to 9 every
Okay.
Wednesday. I think Auntie was asking.
That's nice.
Anilji, I just wanted to say thank you for all the wonderful examples and analogies, because that always helps to clarify things, because this knowledge is very in-depth and it's very difficult to understand. But the way you bring out with the examples, the analogies, it's very helpful. So thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. Hari Om. We'll end with the closing prayer. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinaha, Sarve Santu Niramayaha, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschid Dukha Bhag Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Guru Pyo Namaha. Hari Om. Next week, we'll do the path of Karma Yoga and what happens to people who don't practice this knowledge or this yoga. So we'll do that next week.